Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from TBloom headquarters, here's your host, TBloom.
I don't need excuses. If it happens again, you're fired, you're getting sent back to where you came from, and this whole fucking thing's done. So figure it out. Now are we good to go? All right, welcome back, nation! Snap, 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 snaps and claps, baby. Had a little bit of a frustrating scenario just occur. I shot this whole podcast, and it turns out none of it got recorded because we didn't have enough space on our computer. So, to all of you guys out there that are podcasters or have anything to do with audio or media files, make sure you have enough space before you frickin' shoot a 30-minute podcast, okay? Because you'll just end up fucked like I was, okay? Okay, moving on though. Welcome back to another episode of the TBloom Talk Show. I'm your host, of course, TBloom himself. We are on to another segment of the 8-part segment that is of the 2025 NFL season preview. Today we are on the AFC West, arguably the best division in football. Now, they're getting a lot better, and I'll tell you why eventually in this podcast, but this is arguably the best division in football, and I'm actually going to go ahead and say it is the best division in football, and it's really not even close, besides maybe the NFC North, but we'll talk about them later. Anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. I'm not even going to start fucking around. We're going to get right into it right now. We're going to start off with the LA Chargers by Jim Harbaugh. LA. Where did it all go wrong? I mean, it hasn't been bad, but it certainly hasn't been good. You know, it's not where you want to be. You look back last season, they finished 11-6. You'd think that was a good year. Hey, you can't be mad about that. New coach coming in, going 11-6. Hey, let's pat ourselves on the back. Well, not so fast. You got bounced by the Houston Texans in the first round wild card in the playoffs, 32-12. So, really nothing to hang your hats on if you're Chargers fans, especially at this point in someone's career, a.k.a. Justin Herbert. And the question of the season for the Chargers is Justin Herbert that guy? I mean, is he really that guy? You know, because coming into college or out of college, he was supposed to be up there with the big names, you know, the big jabronis. He was supposed to be up there with the Mahomeses, the Allens, the Jacksons, the Aaron Rodgerses, the Joe Burrows, you name it, etc. He's supposed to be up there with them, but I just don't see it, and I don't think you guys do either. I think there's a collective consensus amongst the NFL community that Justin Herbert is very good. He is good, but he's just not great. He's just not great. Sure, you see some greatness flashes, sure, but he doesn't consistently play great. And I don't know why it is. He's got all the intangibles. He's got, you know, he's pretty good on his feet. Can move around pretty well for a big guy his size. He's got size. He's got the arm strength. He's got the cool, calm, and collectiveness. But it just doesn't pan out for him, and I wonder why that is. Let's just take a look at the offense last season, kind of see how they did and what they ended up being. So last year they were second in turnovers per game, so they never turned the ball over at all. Okay? They were second in penalties per game, so that means they're very disciplined. Shout out to Jim Harbaugh. But here's the kicker. They were 19th in the league in passing yards per game, 20th in the league in rushing yards per game, which combined for a 13th in the league points per game at just 23 points per game. When you got a guy like Justin Herbert who's supposed to be all this and all that, and you're only putting up the 19th most passing yards per game in the NFL, the bottom half, you got to be shaking your head. And is it all his fault? I mean, look at the receivers he was dealing with last year. Ladd McConkey, outside of him, who else was he throwing the ball to? Have the Chargers done enough to make sure that Justin Herbert is getting good enough players to throw to, or a team around him that can live up to the standards that he's hoping to get? I mean, I don't know. I bring you guys these questions. These are questions rolling through my mind too. But I'm here to tell you, at least for this year, I don't think they did very much help for him at all. I mean, outside of Ladd McConkey, I guess you could say Keenan Allen, who was once one of his go-to guys 5 years ago. Back when Keenan Allen still had some burn on him, now we're not so sure. If you look at the Chargers receiving core outside of Keenan Allen, the average age is 23 years old. Well, 23.2, but we round down here at the TBloom Talk Show. That goes for everything, paychecks and everything, so don't fucking, you guys heard it. But we round down, 23 years old. They got 4 23-year-olds and 1 24-year-old. Outside of Keenan Allen, who's, what's he, 36 now, 35? As I look that up, I mean, that's not doing yourself any favors. Sure, they may be talented in the next 2 years, but to surround a guy who you know is in the prime of his career, to not go out and get one of those top shelf receivers just seems a little bit underwhelming for me. Let's look up Keenan Allen age. Keenan Allen, he's 33 years old, so I way oversold. But still, 33 years old at the receiver position, and Keenan Allen, I mean, I just don't think they're doing him any favors with surrounding him with receivers that are so young. He has no chance to develop any chemistry with them. Quentin Johnston looks to be not at all the guy that they thought he was. I mean, it doesn't look like a first-round talent to me. So it kind of seems like there's a shift here. Greg Roman seems like he's shifting the offense here, the way that they went about this offseason, because they didn't go out and get star-studded receiver crew. They went out and drafted Omarion Hampton in the first round, running back, and got Najee Harris, former first-round pick coming from Pittsburgh. You look at Jim Harbaugh-led teams, they don't necessarily kill you with throwing. They kill you with defense and running the ball down your throat. You can look back to Michigan, and you can look back to his last stint in the NFL with the 49ers. He wasn't taking tops off of defense with a great quarterback throwing 50 times a game. No, he was pounding the rock and playing good D, and it looks like they're shifting to that way, at least for this year. Looks like they're trying to take off a load for Justin Herbert. Hey, man, take a step back, hand the ball off a couple times a game. Maybe you can win a game throwing 20 times. Which I agree, that can be helpful, but for a guy that just seems like he has it all together and he has what it takes to be in that great criteria, they certainly didn't do any help for him this year, and you're going to probably be looking at a team that's going to probably be running the ball a lot more. Now, let's take a look at the defensive side of things. Led by defense coordinator Jesse Minter. Last year, they were 7th in the league in passing yards per game, 7th in the league in sacks per game. I gotta sneeze. And also 2nd in the league in points per game given up at just 18.5. Really good defense. I mean, absolutely really good. They did take some losses, though. They lost Joey Bosa and they lost Poona Ford, who is a really good interior lineman. Doesn't really, if I say Poona Ford, you're not really going to know who he is. But a really, really good interior defensive lineman that they lost. But they came back. They adapted. They signed Deshaun Hand, defensive tackle, and Naquan Jones, another defensive tackle, both highly rated. And I don't know if you're a fan of Pro Football Focus, but what else can you go on when you're looking at defensive tackles? I'm not going to sit there and watch a bunch of film on them. I'm going to go by Pro Football Focus, and they're pretty good in terms of that overall grade. And this is still a defense backed by, obviously, star-studded corner, Derwin James, and Khalil Mack, so they still got the juice there. But the whole thing with the LA Chargers is they didn't get worse, but I'm just not seeing any evidence that they got better. So they were 11-6 last year. I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to be 11-6 this year. I just don't see any change. They're going to be still a solid team. Jim Harbaugh's a solid coach. Wasn't happy that he came to the NFC at all, but I just don't see any improvement based off of the additions that they've made. So look for the Chargers to be a running, defensive-heavy team who can occasionally make a splash play with their young receivers who have some speed, and that's what they're going to be. I got them going 11-6. Let's move on. All right. Our next team, we're going to go with the Chiefs. And guys, spoiler alert, I'm not spending much time on them. I don't think there's really much need to. No, there's not much need to, dude. I mean, we know what the Chiefs are, okay? Do they have Patrick Mahomes? Check. Do they have Andy Reid? Check. Okay. They have 13 games won. 12 games won. Bare minimum. Okay? Can we all agree on that? It doesn't matter who they lost and who they got. Oh, they traded Sky Moore. Oh, Rice, he's spending 6 games. Dude, cut it out. Okay? We all know who they are. If they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they'll be fine. I'm predicting that they'll win 13 games this year. Actually, I'm predicting that they win one less. They'll go 12-5 this year. How about that? Probably their worst record since they came into the league. I don't know. You'd have to fact check me on that. That sounds about right. I think they take a little bit of a drop off at 12-5. There you go. Still got Chris Jones, Steve Spagnuolo. Defense is flying. Sure, they had some people gone to other teams. Doesn't fucking matter. They're going to be good. No need to spend any time on them. But a team that you do need to spend some time on is the team in the AFC West that has the most changes out of all the teams. None other than the Oakland Raiders. Fierce. The Las Vegas Raiders by Pete Carroll. Let's take a look. Last year they were 4-13. Wasn't good enough. Head coach, you're out. Pete Carroll, you're in. It's time to get this team back on track. Not only this team, but this franchise. Once a storied franchise known for their fierce defensive skills and just absolute raw dog ability to set a team on fire. Spark the nation. I mean, in the 80s, you couldn't go to the strip club. You couldn't go to the mall without seeing an Oakland Raider jacket on. Nowadays, you'd be lucky to even see a jersey. Let's take a look at the offense. They got a whole new resume coming in. New OC, new QB. Chip Kelly, meet Geno Smith. It's time to combine your guys' influence. I like this, though. I do like it. Last year, on the offense, they were 32nd in the league at running the ball. 79.8 yards per game. Trash. 27th in the league in total yards per game. Trash. And 29th in the league in turnovers per game at 1.7, just under 2. Safe to say the Oakland Raiders were absolute trash, hence why they went 4-13. So what they do, they sign Geno Smith. They don't stop there, though. They go out and draft their first-round pick, former Boise State running back, former Heisman runner-up, Ashton Jeanty. Welcome to the team. Suddenly we have a little bit of momentum. What's going on there? Oh, I don't know. Made another couple additional additions to the O-line. Free agency, drafted a couple guys. All of a sudden, we got the ball run. All of a sudden, Brock Bowers comes to mind. Oh, hey, Brock Bowers, Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty. What do we got here? Jacoby Myers? Hey, not bad. Sure, he asked for a trade a week or so ago. But, I mean, dude, how are you going to ask for a trade a week before the season starts? How do you all of a sudden come to it and like, nah, I don't want in. This is fucked. I mean, I guess it could make sense. If you have high hopes, you see that your team just got Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty, you come to a whole, however many weeks long of training camp, you play a couple preseason games, maybe you're like, yeah, this team's still trash. I want out. I want the fuck out of here. That's the only reason why I could think Jacoby Myers would ask for that. Maybe he was also asking for a contract extension or some sort of leverage there. I don't know. Point is, I don't think he's going to leave. And Jacoby Myers has a really sneaky good game. Really sneaky good stats. Especially last year. Dealing with all the quarterbacks, Aiden McConnell, Minshew Mania. Did really good. So I'll put that all together. You got Geno Smith, your QB. Brock Bowers, your number one. Arguably the number one tight end in the league. Quote me. You got Jacoby Myers, who's a decent one. I think he's a true number one, I'd say. He's proven that. And you got the young rookie running back, Ashton Jeanty. I mean, I'm not saying this offense is going to blow up and be a top 5 offense in the league. I'm not saying that at all, but look where we're coming from, guys. I mean, they fucking put up 79 rushing yards a game last year. What the fuck? Just trash. Trash, 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 trash. So they're not going to necessarily be great, but they're definitely going to improve. And I don't think anybody in this organization, I certainly hope nobody in this organization, or for the bare minimum, the fan base, I hope nobody in the fan base thinks that this is going to be their all-in moment in going for the Super Bowl, because I don't think it's that at all. This is just to get the ball rolling, get some momentum, get some sort of respect back for your franchise, some sort of level of, standard. Because Geno Smith, he's going to put you up some points. He's going to make some stupid fucking throws, absolutely terrible throws, but he's going to make some fucking great ones. And he's going to have a couple games where you're like, shit, should we keep this guy around for another year? This guy's doing pretty good. You're going to be in a lot better hands than you have been, Las Vegas Raider fans, than you have been the last few seasons with the shit show that has been going on before then. So that's pretty much what's going on with the offense. I like what they're doing. They're trying to get serious. They're trying to be like, hey, we're here at the table. We're ready to eat. We're not very good just yet, but we're a lot better than we were. And damn it, we might even beat you on a random Sunday. So keep an eye out on that offense. Let's kick it over to the defense. Led by Max Crosby, obviously. Defense coordinator Patrick Graham. What did they do? Well, they were 29th in the league in turnovers per game last year. Just under 1. 22nd in the league in sacks per game. Got Max Crosby. Kind of want to be up more than 22nd in the league. And then you're 25th in the league in points per game given up at 25.5. Fuck. All the other stats pretty much middle of the pack. But what did they go out and do this year? They added Devin White, middle linebacker, solid veteran. And they also added Elandon Roberts, middle linebacker. Green dot guy that can run your defense, if you didn't know. I know, he played for Pittsburgh. He was arguably our best middle linebacker in the last 5 years. Arguably. Okay? Not saying it. Just saying it. So they went out and signed 2 pretty decent veteran, 2 decent signings. And they lost Trayvon Mottrig, the safety. I think that's how you say his name. Mottrig. Sorry, he's not necessarily a household name. But they lost him. They lost Nate Hobbs, cornerback. But they ended up signing Darian Porter Jr., cornerback, 68th pick of the draft. And they signed Jamal Adams, former safety, turned middle linebacker this year. Jamal Adams, what a name. Used to ring bells across the league. Now the guy can't get a contract offer unless it's for the freaking Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, he did something right in Seattle to prove to Pete Carroll that he's worth sticking around because from what I remember, the guy couldn't get on the field. So I'm not seeing much upgrade on the defensive side of the ball. You didn't really do much for the pass rush. Max Crosby still there all alone, trying to make a, comeback. Oh, by the way, they also signed Amari Cooper. That's right. So you got Amari Cooper back on the team. The offensive side is going to take a huge step. They're definitely going to be the best part of this team. The defense will not be. And I can see this team, because they made some big strides offensively, they can double their wins. I see them going 8-9 this year, guys. If you're a Las Vegas Raider fan, don't get too excited. You're not going to the Super Bowl, but guess what? You're going to have a lot more competitive team out there each and every week on Sunday, and it ain't going to be done in the first quarter or the third quarter. It might be done by the third quarter. But the second quarter, no. You'll have a chance by then at least. And you might even beat a few teams in your division. I can see you maybe knocking off the Chiefs maybe. Maybe knocking off the fucking Chargers a couple times. Who knows? Bottom line is you guys are getting better, taking strides, taking steps to get that level of team that you want and to that level of play that you want. But also a question arises is how long does Pete Carroll have until he can't do it anymore? Am I being a dick? Am I being a dick for being realistic? People bring up age all the time. People bring up age all the time for QBs. I can't bring up... Okay. I guess I'll fuck off. We'll move on to the very last team. Whew. Okay, we're going to kick it over to the very last team of the AFC West. The Denver Broncos by Sean Payton. Last year, the Denver Broncos finished 10-7, and when you think about how they drafted Bo Nix, a rookie QB, and how all things ended up, you got to be pretty pumped up about this organization. Yeah, they lost to Buffalo last year in the playoffs, first round, 31-7, but at one point they were up 7-0, I believe. And just for a second, one little second, they had a hope that they could beat the Buffalo Bills and go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they'd end up winning 31-7. But the question of this year for the Broncos is, can Bo Nix take that next step? Let's get into it. Offensively, last year, they were pretty much middle of the pack statistically. But if you look at their last 7 games, they scored 32.5 points per game. That would be the number one scoring offense in the league if that was their total throughout the whole year. Now, I know that's wishful thinking, and that's just, come on, TBloom, you can't just come up with something like that. But that just goes to show, I mean, Bo Nix has improved tremendously throughout last year. He started off like maybe this guy was a bust. Maybe we should have never drafted this guy. Rookie mistakes, throwing stupid balls, making stupid decisions. But that's what a rookie is. I mean, you're not defined by your mistakes. You're defined by how you can learn from those and get better and improve. And boy, did he do that. Because there's moments last year where I'm looking at Bo Nix like, this guy's the fucking truth. Excuse my language, but very impressed. I mean, you talk about the prototypical modern-day QB, a guy who can do it with his legs, very mobile, can stand in the pocket, though, strong arm. I mean, all those things you think about the modern-day QB, he's got it. He's got it. You know what he has on his side as well? A damn good offensive coordinator / head coach in Sean Payton. Obviously, Joe Lombardi's technically the OC, but you got to know that Sean Payton has his hands deep in those pockets when it comes to calling those plays and certain things like that. So, Bo Nix, man, I'm pretty high on him. What did they do to get him better and to improve around him? Well, they got a tight end, Evan Ingram, and when he's on the field and he's healthy, he's a damn good one, arguably a top 5 tight end in terms of receiving. They also got a guy named J.K. Dobbins. If you guys don't know him, he used to be pretty sure he was a first-round pick for the Baltimore Ravens, but every time he touched the ball, the guy ended up scoring until he tore a few ACLs. That's okay, though. He can come back from that. Signed him. Got a guy named Pat Bryant at receiver, 3rd-round pick out of the draft. Are you kidding me? Going along with Marvin Mims Jr., who they need to see some growth out of. I get that. Former pick last year, draft pick. Need to see a little bit of improvement there. But they also got Cortland Sutton, who's a very underrated receiver in today's era. Today's era with a bunch of stacked receivers. So, I mean, they're surrounding this guy with some legit talent and some legit chances to become that guy. Now, we just came off of talking about Justin Herbert and how he's never quite put himself into that tier of quarterbacks where you're like, okay, just give him the ball. But Bo Nix, I think he's certainly on his way to do that. And when you ask, can Bo Nix take the next step to be that good, be that successful, be in that top tier? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes 10 times out of 10. Now, what impresses me most about this team is not necessarily the offensive side of the ball, but it's the damn defense. Led by Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator. Let's take a look at what they did last year. Last year, 9th in the league in total yards per game, 5th in the league in rushing yards per game, and 1st in the league in sacks per game. Yes, they lost middle linebacker Cody Barton. That's okay. They added a few great players. First off, Talanoa Hufanga. I hope I said that name right. Because, damn it, I would not want to be on the other side of that ball if he was charging right at me with that Troy Polamalu lock coming at me. I mean, this guy's legit. If you guys watch the 49ers the last 3-4 years, you've definitely seen this guy make a play or two. They didn't stop there, though. They added Dre Greenlaw, who, before his injury in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, when he ran out in the field, didn't even get a chance to play. Tore his ACL and some stupid shit. Questionable, but tore his ACL and some stupid shit the very last game of the season in the Super Bowl. So last year, he didn't even play. Barely even played, if he did play. This year, he's had a full off season to recover, full year to get his mind right, not worry about focusing on rehab and his injury, but to focus on football and how he can get faster, better, stronger, and to prepare for this offseason. So they got Greenlaw, Hufanga, both very talented players. And they also got a guy named Jahdae Barron, a cornerback, 20th pick out of Texas, to go opposite side of Patrick Surtain, arguably the best corner in the league. Now, we talked about Hufanga just 2 seconds ago. He's going to be teamed up and paired up with a guy named Brandon Jones, their other safety, who had an absolute career year last year. I mean, this Denver defense is scary, guys. And you pair it up with a guy with an offense like they're going to have with Bo Nix and his progression, I think it's going to be fucking scary. Sorry, I forgot to mention, they extended Zach Allen, the defensive lineman. Solid defensive lineman, interior. He played the most snaps out of any interior lineman last year. So the fact that they could extend him and keep him on the team means they didn't have to go out and find a replacement, because this, like I said, this guy played the number one amount of snaps out of all the interior D linemen did. So they maybe even have to get 2 other players to be able to cover the amount of snaps this guy played, but they didn't have to. Guys, I'm just lost for words about how excited I am for you Denver Bronco fans, because I'm not even, trust me, I'm not one to just sit here and come out and be like, oh, let's go Broncos, let's go Broncos. I don't really give a fuck about the Broncos, okay? I don't give a fuck about the organization. I could care less for John Elway. I have a couple family members in the Colorado area, not Denver, but because they live in Colorado, they have to be Denver fans. I'm just saying, man, you take back and you look at this offense and what it could be with Bo Nix, and you take a look at this defense of what it's already been and what they can be with the additions that they fucking made. I'm looking you right in the damn eye right now. The Denver Broncos are going to win the AFC West, and the Denver Broncos will finish 13-4, and guess what? They're going to beat the Chiefs twice. Not once. They're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice. I'm going to leave you guys with that one right there. Thank you guys for joining me on another episode of the TBloom Talk Show. I'm your host, of course, TBloom. Join with me to my left, Ron the Don, little bobblehead Troy, and a Steeler helmet I've had since I can remember. Thank you guys again so much. If you tune in, leave a comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you next time on the next segment of the 2025 NFL season preview. I'm your host, signing out one last time, TBloom. Out.